welcome everybody. It's Rose Smith here from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thank you so much for joining me for the August predictions, country predictions. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what countries we're doing, but as we go along, no doubt they'll come into my mind. But I know we're starting off with Australia because I had a very big dream last night about a Qantas aircraft, and it was a big one, like a 747. So this is international travel, and there was a crash, and there was a gaping big hole in the left side, and I just happened to be there at the spot when the plane crashed. And so I was looking in, and I could see there was movement in there. There was some people still alive. So this is sort of mega for Australia because Qantas is like a potent symbol of the Australian spirit, and Qantas has never had any major accidents like where anybody's been actually killed. There's been one or two incidents early in the history of Qantas. There was an incident, but nobody was killed, and there has been, you know, like occasionally, very rarely, you know, turbulence and things like that where somebody mightn't have the seatbelt on and then they get thrown in the air when turbulence hits. But yeah, no deaths. So this is fairly major, and I tend to think that it's because it is such a potent symbol of Australia. I think it's about Australia rather than an actual plane crash, to be quite honest. And so I just got a bit of a vibe before when I was thinking about this hole, and I can see it right now, and I can see the seats inside as I look. It's a great gaping hole, and it just sort of came to me that this could be the upcoming Australian budget. Now, I think this is being handed down in September or October, okay, so not August, but because I've just dreamt this last night, I'm going to talk about it. And so there's a gaping hole in the budget. So that's one interpretation. Another possibility is because the hole is on the left side of the plane, it could be something to do with women. And something comes out that's very negative for women, or perhaps the sort of open receptivity that Australia's had for a very long time now towards immigrants, bringing lots of immigrants into Australia. Maybe it's something to do with that. But yeah, let's see what the cards have to come out with, because that's the very first thing that comes to me, and we'll get more clarification in the cards. If you are new, subscribe and be alive. I would really appreciate that. Let's go to the board now. And so the first card will be for Qantas. I was trying to say for Australia. See, they're synonymous, Qantas and Australia. Okay, and the dream last night, the gaping hole. Let's see what comes up. I'll close my eyes now. Yes, well, I see people walking in the streets, actually Sydney, CBD, walking along. I worked there for years, actually, in the CBD, so I know this. And they've all got umbrellas, and it's raining, so that suggests that it is a difficult time and that there's tears, okay? And working, it's like hurrying to get to work. I think the unemployment rate's about to go up, okay? And I mean real unemployment. I'm not talking about these stupid government figures where they say if you work more than 1 hour a week, you're employed. That's just rubbish. That's just like a sleight of hand, and all our governments do that. It's such a stupid definition. I'm talking about real unemployment. So yeah, I feel like it gets tougher in Australia. Australia has really been the lucky country in comparison to so many countries. And I was thinking that we wouldn't have a recession, but after that dream last night, I'm not so sure now. Let's see what we get. Oh, I've just got tingling in my third eye. It's like people are going to wake up. There's been a lot hidden. I feel like we haven't seen the truth, and we've just got rid of one government that was really diabolical, for, you know, asleep at the wheel for the last 9 years. And I feel like there's a lot coming out that government did that we didn't know about. A lot behind the scenes of things that people will be shocked. Now, it's sort of hard. I think I'm going to go with this one on top. Anything else I could tell you? Oh, well, yeah. It's the death card. It means the end, okay? So I don't know that it means that people will actually die, this aircraft crash. But there were certainly, in my dream, there were certainly dead people in the plane. I don't know how many. Because it was a 747, there could be hundreds of people on board. You know, I think the passenger manifest might be possibly 450 or 500 or something like that. But not everybody died. That's the thing. Death like this in the death card doesn't actually mean physical death, though. It means the end of an era, the end of a situation. And certainly during my life, Australia's always been the lucky country. I think that's coming to an end. And we have to reinvent ourselves somehow. And we need real leadership, which we haven't had for the last 9 years at least. So we need a leader that's going to galvanise people into, you know, a sort of common, unified vision. And yeah, that's been sadly lacking. But it is not only the end of something, it's also the beginning of something new. We could turn this around to make it into an opportunity. It's not the time for taking risks now, however, so do be extra careful. You know, especially if you're considering buying real estate, it's not the best time now, perhaps. Okay, that's Australia. Let me know if you hear of anything, because I do watch the news, but I'm not an avid follower. I'm not like sitting there all day watching the news. Let me know what you think, and if you hear of anything that fits in with this dream. Okay, so the next thing that has sort of been in the background is America, the United States of America, and Liz Cheney. Now, I don't understand all the details about American politics, but she's coming up mid-August for an election. I think it's called her primary, and she has to win that in order to go on. If she doesn't win that, she's out of the race, completely out of politics. And everybody's saying, I know there were some very bad polls for her, and saying she's going to lose. But I don't know, I just get this vibe underneath that it's a minority that is saying that. They're not really speaking for all of the people in that state. And I'm not even sure what state it is. It might be Ohio, but I'm not sure. Okay, let me know in the comments, because I just don't remember. But I just have this thing underneath. It's not as dire as what the polls suggest. So let's see what comes out for Liz Cheney. And she, of course, she's important because she's the chairperson of the January 6th committee. And so, you know, she's done a ton of work in, you know, furthering the aims of the January 6th committee, okay, to get to the truth, what really happened on January 6th with the insurrection and the attempted coup. Okay, Liz Cheney. Let me close my eyes. There's a white door opening up. I'm getting blue here and there, a lot of white and bits of blue. Blue can be sadness. It's not dark navy, but it is a bit on the duller grey side. So I wouldn't say she's sad, but there's some disappointment there. But there's a lot of white as well. And white is quite a spiritual colour. It also indicates some level of awareness or insight. And so she knows what she's doing. This is really hard. I'm going to go with that one. She knows what she's doing and where she's going. The card that where she's going. This is all about going. The Chariot, active. You know, this is a person with a ton of energy, a person who really wants to get ahead in life and take the bull by the horns. It doesn't necessarily mean success, but it does mean she's going to give it a red hot go. And we know that about her anyway. She's got a lot of intuition, this woman. See the two cats here, the Egyptian goddess Bast. These are the familiars Okay, so there's intuition going on. There's activity, take the bull by the horns, but I'm also thinking about a bull market to do with the stock exchange. So there might be something happen with stocks and shares, which I don't follow at all. I don't actively invest in. I did years ago. It takes so much time, I don't do it anymore. This is magical for getting ahead in life. She holds the staff, okay, the royal staff, and this is real power. And so Liz Cheney yields real power, and this is a very positive, strong sign for her success, okay? Because I've only just had this feeling and I haven't had a dream about her, I'm a little bit reluctant to say that she's going to win. And I'll just close my eyes. The door's opening up when I say that. I'm in space. I'm looking out over the earth. And when I talk about Liz Cheney winning her primary, what am I? Oh, geez. I don't think it's cut and dried. I don't think in spirit this has been decided yet. There's actually some riots or some protests, that's the word. Not riots is probably a bit strong. Protests about that goes on with her at that time. So I think it might be the 16th of August. It's mid-August. And so there's some protesting going on and people are getting very angry. So she could win, and a minority of people are not happy about it. Okay, now the next thing, and I haven't... Oh, okay, well, I'm going to say this is the UK, and I haven't checked to see where we're up to. To do with the new Prime Minister hasn't been decided. You've got Liz Truss, who's a very conservative person, and then Rishi Sunak, or something like that. An Indian, he looks like an Indian origin. But yeah, he could have been born in the UK for all I know. I just don't know. But Seven of Wands is basically saying that there's a lot of competition, you know, they're both being tested, and I almost feel like the one who's the most principled, the one who's got the most courage, the one that defends themselves the best is the one that's going to win. I've got Liz Truss in my face. Also, this is a woman, and it could be that Liz Truss has to really defend herself. I don't know much about her at all, but I don't think I'm a fan, but I don't know. I just know she's a conservative, and I did read some months ago that some people thought she was like a female version of Boris, which maybe that's not a good idea. Gee, I get the words principled and courage. The ones that have the one that has the most principles and courage is the one that will win. So let me just get a little bit clear. I'm not sure when the dates are coming up, when it has to be decided by, or what the state of the nation is there in the UK. Rishi or Liz? Let me just see there. I've got sort of weight on my chest. It feels like a huge, massive weight. I feel like there's major problems there in the UK, and that's what's causing this pressure on the chest. Wow, this is a bit controversial, what's just come into my mind. Boris is lucky that he's actually out. If he had stayed in that job, this pressure would have got greater and greater. It would have been very bad for his heart. Whereas these two other people, Liz and Rishi, can stand the pressure better than Boris. And even though he always sort of acts in public like supremely confident to the point of being arrogant, some people would say, underneath he was very worried, and it was a great big burden for him to carry. So he's actually better off out for his own health to try and fix these. There's so many issues here. I just get Liz Truss flashing in my face multiple times. I have to really focus on Rishi to see his face, but Liz is just coming up over and over again. I think she may be the new Prime Minister. Let me just see if I can get another card on that. to you, Liz Truss, Prime Minister of the UK, 2022. A white hat, a white sun hat. That suggests it's warmer weather. So it's all, yeah, and we already know. I'll get the words day at the races. I don't know what that means, but there's celebrations around it. I feel she's the one. Okay. A hermit card. She needs to spend, or certainly somebody needs to spend a lot of time. This card keeps coming up though lately a lot, and it's like you can be a light to the world, but you need to have time for self-reflection. Okay, I think she's going to be the new Prime Minister, but I'm going to qualify it. There's some things. She needs to have a long, hard look at her beliefs, and she needs to go within to find out, you know, to bring some integrity to the job. So I'm still going with her. Tough fight. It's a tough fight between her and Rishi. All right, next country. No idea. I'm looking at the world map in my mind, and I'm spinning the globe now in my mind, and where does it come up? Oh, it's in the Pacific. Hawaii. It's in the, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Hawaii. It's sort of just off to the side of, I'm in the middle, and then it's just to the right side. So, okay, let's look at the energy around, well, that's part of the US, but that's how it goes. Maybe it's like a separate country, Hawaii. What do I get around it? Something about food. There could be some issues with getting food from the mainland, or maybe food, I think because you've got to bring everything in because it's an island. And there might be delays on getting food in, or even getting any sort of supplies coming on ships. Maybe there's some bad weather, and something to do with logistics is held up. So delays around logistics. I don't think it's major. I'm going to take this. This came up today in Facebook. No, earlier here on YouTube in the August Pick a Card. And here we have 3 people that are working on a group project, and there's some challenges, but eventual success. Here's the mountain in the background suggesting the challenges. Their passion and their creativity indicate that there could be eventual success on this. They're all different people, and I feel Hawaii is a bit like that. A lot of different sorts of people in Hawaii. I have been there and spent a few weeks there, and next time I'd like to go to some of the outer islands next time I go. But passion, inspiration, motivation, and this is ultimately positive. And I feel like the situation in Hawaii, even though it could go down a little bit, and there's something in decline, it actually causes the people to be more resourceful and creative. So there's some silver linings and some benefits that come out of it for Hawaii. Okay, and I know Hawaii is not strictly a country, I know, but you could argue it is, because the Americans did take over. It was only like 120 years ago. They invaded, basically. Like, there was a few farmers there, and they just took over everything. So I'm sure the Hawaiian people probably think that they are their own country anyway, in some way. Anyway, all right. Now the last, something about Indonesia, the last country. Indonesia. Don't know anything about what's going on there, but I close my eyes. There's something about water, rain, collecting water, new water solutions, water storage solutions. Water becomes more important. Water is also a sign of emotions too. So let's see what comes up for Indonesia. I'm going to take that one there. Here's the water here. The subconscious. Okay, the Queen of Cups. Okay, could be a softening with the people there. Maybe a softening with some laws. Something's relaxed. Some laws being repealed, let go. And a little bit of kindness or consideration for the people coming up, a feminine force coming through. The shells here that she's seated on the edge of the between the water and the land, okay, on the edge of the beach. So this is like integrating the energy, a union, a completion. This is a very beneficial card, coming to terms with emotions, and so some sort of improvement in life in Indonesia. But I really have no clue about what's going on, but now I get the word trade. There might be some favourable trade figures coming out. Maybe their economy is growing a little bit. And these birds up here, seagulls, looking at the big picture, eagle-eyed, looking at details, and strike while the iron's hot and take advantage of a situation. Okay, so some sort of improvement in Indonesia coming up. Alrighty, so we've got 1, 2, 3 major arcana, so fairly important month in the world for August. Or, as I said, in the case of Australia, it's coming up over we don't have a time frame for that dream. Within the next 12 months, that will happen. But if it is a gaping hole in the Australian budget, which is going to cause all sorts of problems for people, then that will be September or October. I think October the budget's being handed down. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 major arcana, which is fairly important, and that's it. So I hope this is useful for you. This one here, the UK could see the loser, either Liz or Rishi, retire from politics, or somehow if they stay in politics, then they just represent their area and they don't do anything else. It's like stepping back from public life, okay? Alrighty, so that's it, one and all. I hope this is useful for you. Leave a like or a comment, share on your socials. That would be fabulous. If you left me a positive review on Google or Facebook for Absolute Soul Secrets, I'll love you forever. Well, I'll be very appreciative. Okay, have a great month in August, everyone, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.